You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor. This is a case of Clark versus Propst.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. Mr. Clark, you have petitioned the court for a paternity test for your 4-year-old daughter, Jay Leona.
Yes, Your Honor.
You question whether you are her biological father because of her mother's sexually promiscuous lifestyle.
Yes, that's true.
Now, you say that her job as an exotic dancer
Stripper.
has torn your relationship apart. And if the results today prove the child is yours, you are planning to seek sole custody.
Yes, I am.
Now, Ms. Propst, you admit to cheating on Mr. Clark, but state your job does not make you a bad mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit that you were unsure who Jay Leona's father is because you had an affair around the time of conception.
Yes.
Now, you say you're hoping today's results will somehow put your fractured family back together.
That's correct.
So, Mr. Clark, what is the hardest part about the possibility you may not be Jay Leona's father?
Well, Your Honor, I honestly and truly believe for the last 4 years of my life, I've been living a complete lie.
You're not living a lie.
Yes, I am. I don't believe she even has a clue or idea who the father's name is.
So take me back a little bit. How did this relationship get to this point? You're together and you're happy.
Well, this is how it happened. I was in Job Corps.
Okay.
I was working to get my CNA, nursing license.
Okay.
I met her at a party. She's a very fun, loving girl at that particular time. Took it easy, fell back. I went to school. Whenever I came back for a New Year's party, that was the first time we had sex. That was 3 months prior before we had sex. Everything was cool. Throughout this course and this time, she became a totally different person.
So when you met her, she was one way?
Yes.
You
And
thought
afterwards, she was the next. She was something else. She was just a complete liar. That's how I see it.
I was not a liar. How was I a liar?
That's why we're here today. She's already admitted to cheating. She knows this.
That's not being a liar.
Yes,
I
it is.
admitted to cheating,
Cheating
which
is
means
lying
you
and lying is
asked
cheating.
and
It's
I
the same
admitted
thing.
it. That's not
It's the
being
same
a
thing.
liar.
I don't even have to look at you to even say that.
All right, so Ms. Probst, let me ask you. Now, you admit that you were in a relationship with Mr. Clark, but then at some point you cheated.
Yes,
And
Your
lied.
Honor. I did not lie.
You
yes,
cheat
Your
and you
Honor.
lie. It's the same thing.
Yes, Your Honor. Basically, how this happened, I had went to a party with a friend that I was working with at the time, and I had seen this guy that I liked. He got my number, and I slept with him that same night, and I found out I was pregnant.
And this was admittedly around the time of conception.
Yes, Honor. I have
Your daughter.
a calendar. Can I show you that? I had submitted it to the court. Around Labor Day weekend, I slept with this guy and Anthony. So right there on the 1st is where I slept with the other guy. Everything in
Okay, so
yellow.
on September 1st, indicated in green, you slept with the other guy at the party.
Yes, ma'am.
In yellow are the dates that you slept with Anthony.
Yes, ma'am. They told me my conception
Jay
date, it was
Leona
around
was-
that time.
Born in June.
Yes, ma'am.
So as we count back, that first week in September would be the week of conception.
Yes.
During which time you slept with both guys.
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you learn that she had slept with someone else during
Well,
the
actually,
time
I'm
of
going to
conception?
give you an example. We had intercourse one time. She took a shower. I went through, her phone. I found texts to men. I found pictures of herself, texting photos, sending those to other men, and even
That
talking
was
about.
made up. I
No,
sent
it wasn't
the
made
photos,
up.
Your
Honor, I
Honor.
even have proof right
I
here,
sent
right
the
now.
photos,
but like I
but
was
I
saying,
didn't.
I even know that she has texted men of sexual favors for money. Those are things that I know for a fact.
That's not true.
Your Honor, I have
So-
pictures right here. I have evidence.
Jerome, can you hand me these photos, please?
Here you go, Your Honor.
So these are photos that while you were in a relationship, she was texting out to other men.
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may say, those photos that he found in my phone, I had put those in my phone and sent them just to see if he was going through my phone. A couple months before that,
So you had set him up with these photos?
Yes, ma'am. But
That's a
a
lie.
couple
That's a
months
lie.
before that, I was texting a guy from a club that would come out who was one of my money men, and he had seen some text
One of your
messages.
money men?
Yes, ma'am. One of the guys that come and see me frequently at the club that pay me good money. So he had seen where I had been texting this guy, and he took it upon himself to call this guy back and, tell him she has a man and all this, and I lost that client. And we had agreed, he's not gonna go through my phone, I won't go through his phone, and when I was in the shower that day, that's how he had found those pictures.
There was cheating, and you admit to it.
Yes.
Mr. Clark, you stated to the court that you have a close relationship with Jay Leona.
Yes, I have a special bond with my daughter.
Please.
Whenever she goes to school, she speaks proudly of me. She talks about her dad to everyone. When she goes to church, she speaks about her father. I'm the last person who gives her a kiss and a hug. Her mother can't beat her to do that because she's, quote unquote, having the time of her life.
I'm not having the time of my life.
I'm supporting my daughter the way I believe
I'm trying
you
to
should
work,
have to.
Your Honor, and support me and my children, which
you don't have to do
I have
that.
to do on my own anyways. I have to do that to support me and my children. He doesn't know what it's
like I was saying, Your Honor.
He doesn't know what it's like to be passed around from family member to family member.
Like I was saying, I do. Yes,
no,
Your Honor.
you don't. You have a great
Your Honor, like I was
family.
saying, I have deceased parents. What she has to understand is I will never rob my child of that opportunity to have an open household or a healthy family, period. Doesn't matter what your job is. You can get a healthy job and not do the things you do. That's his point about how I see it.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. We've established that she's cheated. We've established that the paternity is at issue. Now, Ms. Propst, is exotic dancing just the career of your choice?
I'm an exotic dancer. No, Your Honor. I had a rough childhood. Me and my family never got along. My father was never around. I just want for my daughter to have the father that I never had. I had to do what I have to do to be able to provide for me and my children. The money is going to be spent the same way.
Wait, now how many children do you all have together?
Two.
So he's already helping to support and take care of your other child.
Just
very recently, what you have to understand is that whenever I was from the beginning, when I was doing this, I did lie to him about dancing. I told him I was going to be stripping, and I had to do what I had to do, like I said, to make a better way for me and my kids, because at the time, he was not helping me pay any bills. He was not helping me with anything in my apartment, but he had so much to say about it, but did not have a problem helping me spend the money that I was making from the clothes.
I believe that's not the point.
Now, are you reaping the benefits from Ms. Probst?
Not at all. It's not about the benefits. The benefits, you can do so much.
No, it's about the benefits. I don't know anybody that just exotic dances for their health. You exotic dance.
Thank you.
Usually,
well, first off, when she takes her money and she spends it on clothing, that's one thing.
For the kids
I spend it on clothing,
myself,
but she also pleasures herself. I do a lot of self-sacrifices. I put schooling on hold once upon a time while she put her career of stripping on a pole that's so healthy for her providing for her kids, but at the same time, I put education on the hold to work a 9 to 5.
I put my education on the hold
to bring in a hard-earned check that I can benefit from my taxes and one day have some insurance for my child. Healthcare, she gets none of those from stripping. Those men can't take my kids to the doctor. They can't run them from daycare to daycare. I can, and I have to provide for those things,
so
not those men.
You've never partaken any of the proceeds from this job?
Well, maybe a sandwich.
A sandwich.
I never went out shopping with her money at all.
Yes, he has. I bought him clothes.
No, I haven't.
I bought myself clothes. I provided for my children, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Clark, as soon as she got this job, you said, no way, you don't want her doing this.
From the beginning, I didn't like it. Out of my love out of her and her disrespect for me, I still allowed it to go on because I truly loved her. I never had a family. My parents are deceased. So, therefore, with my parents being deceased, I want to have a family. It's something I earned for this. I want it. Every day I wake up, I see my daughter, I'm proud of her. Just knowing that the fact that she could or could not be mine, yeah, it hurts me, but I still go on every day.
Why has it taken you 4 years to get to this point?
I wanted it to be to a point where I can tell my daughter, face to face. She's still not at that age yet, and this has been an issue since day one. When she was born, I had a feeling. She told me she was pregnant when she was 3 months along. I feel if you was comfortable and you knew that I was the father, you would have told me day one. You ruined the best day of my life, my opportunity to be happy for myself and my family by keeping this secret.
I did not keep
it a secret.
I knew
something was up from the beginning.
I could have just been like, yay, I'm
No, you
pregnant.
could have told me when it happened
I could have told
at
him
the
that
same
I was
time.
pregnant without telling him there's a
And
possibility
now,
of this
at
not being
what
your
point
child.
did you tell him that he may not be the father?
I did not tell him right away, which I should have, but I was confused. Like I told you, I did not know who was the father of my child. I did not want to ruin the relationship that we had. But, whenever he asked, like, your stomach looks like it's getting bigger. Do you have something that you want to tell me? I told him, I'm pregnant, and there's a possibility that you might not even be the father. So I told him. He knew.
Why does it take for me
he
to see
knew
your stomach
before
so
our
for me to ask
child was
questions?
born
She should have
that
told me she
he
was
may
pregnant
not
from
be
the beginning.
father of our
That's just
child.
period.
So it's not
There's
like
no other way around.
she's 1 or she's 3, and I'm just like, hey, dropping this bomb that you may not be the father. He knew. He wasn't even there to sign the birth certificate. He was not even with her until she was like 6 months old.
So, Mr. Clark, you have known this from birth. You've been aware that potentially Jay Leona may not be your child.
Yes.
And yet, you still went ahead and established this beautiful relationship with her.
Yes, I have.
I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
I think that's admirable. Tell me a little about your relationship.
She's special to me. She's a joy of my life. When I see her, I get a glimpse of what I could possibly leave her, as a legacy of myself behind. Know that I can raise her the right way. It makes me proud. It makes me proud to be a father. I always wanted to be a family guy anyway. I call myself a proud dad. I even got a specialized T-shirt made at home,
The results of this test are very important to you.
Yes, they are. They're critical.
He is a great father. There's no doubt in my mind that he is a good father, which, I pray every night that he is the father of my child because I want my daughter to have her father in her life. I've never had my father in my life. He was never around, and this other guy, like I told you, it's very embarrassing.
Where is he?
I had like I told you before, I met him at a party. I tried to look for him a couple times, and he lied about his name. I found out through a friend that he's deceased.
Okay.
She originally told me it was a one-night stand, and this is how the lies build up. That's how she originally told me. It was
I did
a
not
one-night
tell
stand.
him that it was
Yes,
a
she
one-night
did.
stand.
She told
Why
me it was
are
a
you
one-night
lying?
stand.
Why are you lying?
Whenever she first broke it down to me, it was supposed to be, oh, I made a mistake. Oh, it was an accident.
Because I
really
did
love
make a
you.
mistake. People
then
make
I find out
mistakes
from a
all the
friend.
time.
I find
People
out
make
from a
mistakes
friend
every day.
that she actually been seeing this guy. I didn't know about
That's
this
not
calendar
true.
thing until today.
That's not true.
To see those, this proves it. It's all in the pudding. You're a liar.
Mr. Clark, I can't get past the fact that you've known from the beginning that there was doubt.
Yes.
And yet, for 4 years, you've been a good man, a good father. You obviously love this woman.
Yes, I do. I love my child more. And if I get these results today and the child is mine, I won't sole custody.
Your Honor, he took my kids away so that
didn't
we've
take your kids
basically
away.
not been together for two months. And the agreement was, I'm going to take them until I want you to find a better job because I feel like you're making a bad example for our kid.
Have you been looking for a better job?
Since he's been gone those 2 months, I've enrolled in school to go to dental assistant school. So I start school in 2 weeks. I just want to save our relationship and just find out if he is the father of
So,
my
Mr.
child.
Clark, she's saying that she's making strides to change her life because you've asked her to do so, and probably on her own accord, she wants to make sure.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's told so many lies. I don't believe that.
You don't have to
until
be
until
there.
that day actually starts. That's when it begins. And just because you a month in school or you had a job for 2 weeks doesn't mean it's gonna be all gravy
See,
then.
Your Honor, he
this
acts
goes
like
on for
he's
4
better.
years.
He always
She's
acts
the type
like
of person
he's
she
better
lies to
than
get what
me.
she
He
wants.
always acts
and that's
like
pretty
he's
much
better
But,
how it
Mr.
is.
Clark, you gotta admit she's gotta start somewhere.
I mean, she does.
If she's gonna try to enroll in school, find another job, be a dental assistant, you gotta decide that you're gonna support her, encourage her for your children's sake. At least. She obviously wants to change, if not for your sake, for the sake of your family as a whole. Isn't that a start?
Yes, it is. It's just to the point where my mind, my feelings, my emotions are exhausted. It's been four
It's not
years
about
of
you, though.
nonsense.
It's not about
and after
you.
that, you get fed up. You're right. It's not about me. This is a paternity court. It's about my child. I will be there as a dad, and I will support her, with Jayliana, speaking of. But as far as maintaining a relationship with her and knowing that's something she betrayed of me, I couldn't do that.
I don't agree
It
with
is a
that.
mistake
But
you made.
you
You're
already
gonna be paying
knew,
for it
like
for a
I said,
long
there's a
time.
50-50 chance
true.
of you being or not being the father. And that's why we're here today. I mean, I pray that he's the dad.
All right, well, let's go to the results. Jerome, do you have the envelope? Well, let's go to the results. Jerome, do you have the envelope?
I certainly do. There go,
Thank
Judge.
you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics in the case of Clark versus Propst. Mr. Clark, when it comes to 4-year-old Jayliana, you are not her father.
I'm sorry.
Don't come over here.
I'm sorry, but you already knew before we
No, it doesn't.
came
It
there
doesn't.
was a chance that you might not be her father, though.
I'm going to continue, providing for my child. She will always be my daughter, through thick and thin, no matter what the results. If I wasn't her father, obviously we all know she doesn't have one. She doesn't have one. Without me, she doesn't have one. I would not allow some guy from the club or some guy from the street, pick up where I left off, because nobody can do that. So I'm going to remain being the father I need to be.
Mr. Clark, not only is that commendable, that's what real men do. I've listened to many cases before this court, and sometimes there's a pause before a man steps up and says, well, I'm still going to step in and be her father. But with you, there was no pause. And I have to acknowledge that because it speaks to the love you have for her.
I have deep love for that's my baby.
And now I have to keep it real with you. That apology you gave, you're going to have to do better than that. Because you are one lucky young lady that despite your missteps, you still have a man that stands there and says without a shadow of a doubt that he's going to raise your baby girl as his own to make sure she's okay. And regardless of what you two do, as parents, the important thing to this court are those kids. And you all have got to learn how to co-parent together. The kids are counting on you. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned.
I believe what Judge Lake had to say was very strong. She was absolutely right. We do have to maintain a relationship, but I can't be with her.
I think what Judge Lake had to say to me today was good advice, and I'm going to use that to become a better mother to my children and continue school.